Mia cucina in Italian means my kitchen. Bienvenuti a tutti quanti. What I say in Italian is welcome to everybody. La prima cosa che dobbiamo fare è prendere il faddale. The first, what I say in Italian, the first thing that we need to do is to put on the apron. And I have a very beautiful, colorful apron today. We're still in the month of March, full of love, full of red. I don't know why Valentine's, it's red. And you know, maybe it's because of the color of the heart, I'm not sure. But anyways, it doesn't matter. But what I do have for you today is a garlic chicken with broccoli and spinach. So what I want to do is I want to get my pan heated. This is a one skillet, easy peasy. You can set a lot of this stuff and get yourself all ready for the next day. When you come home, you can put this out in a jiffy. So what I have here is I have 1 pound of chicken breast, and what I've done is I have cut them in very little, not super tiny, but in a 1 inch guys, 1 inch. And then what I want to do is I want to get my oil, and I have 2 tablespoons of olive oil, you know, depending on how big, you know, a pound of chicken is a pound of chicken, and sometimes it might be 1 breast, it might be 2 breasts, that equals a pound. If it's over a pound, don't you worry about a thing, because this is going to be super easy and delicious. You can find all of the ingredients and all the measurements by scrolling down on this recipe, and you will have everything there. I just want to get my oil to get to where I want it to get, and I am glistening when it starts to glisten, but I want to get a little bit more of olive oil, just a itty bitty bit. Sometimes it might take 2 tablespoons, sometimes it might take 2.5 tablespoons of olive oil. Again, it depends on how much chicken. I have about a pound here. And then you're going to start, you can actually smell it. But if you really want to make sure, just add a pinch of it of salt. And if it starts to smoke like it is right now, and I'm just going to get these guys all in here like so. There we go. Because I wanted them to be really dry. I'm going to turn this down because I have it on high. And what I want to do is I want to get my chicken, and you see I'm working quickly. I just want to start kind of browning them just a little bit, getting all the beautiful olive oil, so nothing really sticks. So make sure, you know, that you always have a very oiled pan. Now, I don't use soap on these cast iron skillets. I use hot water, and that's what I do. So right now, we're just going to just kind of brown this a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and bring in my onions now. Get all my onions in here like so. So it starts to pick up all the flavors of this wonderful dish that we are going to be building with all these deliciousness. And I keep saying delicious because it's very tasty. And I haven't seasoned anything yet. You know what I'll do is I'll go ahead and put my broccoli. Now, when you're using broccoli heads, make sure that you cut them, you know, that you get the little head like this and then cut them in half again. Because what happens with that, guys, it makes your cooking time half. It cuts in half. So pretty much I have all of those down. And then I just want to get right now, I got my broccoli and my onions and my chicken rocking and rolling, doing their thing. While that is doing that, I'm just going to clear the decks over here like so. And I have not seasoned anything. I want to get my tomatoes. I have my spinach over here. My spinach is going to kind of go last because it cooks faster. So what I have here is I have cherry tomatoes. Now, you can use any tomato. I am using about a half a cup of chopped tomatoes. The recipe calls for a half a cup, but I'm going to be using just a few little more tomatoes. But that's me, because I really love tomatoes. Check with your doctor. I'm not a nutritionist and I'm not a doctor, but tomatoes have a lot of health benefits. And as you can see, I am just going to just cut them, you know, long ways, and then this way. And depending on what kind of cherry tomatoes, or it could be just a regular tomato that you have cut up, and it, you know, about if you want to use the whole tomato, and that tomato is more than a half a cup, don't worry about it. This is supposed to be nice and easy and delicious. And that's why I want to show you guys that we are working with nice and deliciousness, and that's what this is all about. And it comes together in a jiffy. Now I'm going to add my green onions, because I'm going to be utilizing green onions two ways. Now, I don't know what green onions you guys have, but I grow my own green onions, and I actually kind of cut these off. And I'm going to be utilizing these two other green onions for the rest of the garnish that I'm going to be utilizing. Now is when I'm going to come in and get my seasoning together. Let me dry my hands over here, because I want to mix all of the seasonings together, because this is where I'm going to come in now. And I am going to go ahead and add all of the seasonings. Again, all the measurements are by scrolling that on the recipe. And you will find this beautiful recipe: garlic chicken and broccoli and spinach. Wonderful deliciousness, low carb. And you can see I have not added any garlic yet, because I don't want to do that yet. I want to grab my tomatoes. I'm going to put my tomatoes right on top. It's such a pretty dish. It really is such a pretty dish. And now I'm going to turn it up, because I'm going to turn this up so it can start cooking. Now I'm going to go ahead and get my spinach, and I'm going to put right on top, like so, right on top. And then I want to come over here, and I want to bring my big lid and put the lid on here. I'm going to clear the decks real quick so I can show you what we are going to do next. I'll be right back. I'm going to put it in the sink. I'm right here. Did you miss me? And now what I want to do is I'm going to come over here, and I have some beautiful basil, and I have 2 extra green onions. Now, you can omit the green onions, but I really like the green onions, and I grow these, and I love them. I love green onions. I grew up eating green onions. We always had a garden. No matter where we lived in South America, we had a garden. We moved to Pittsburgh, we had a garden. Even in the snow, my father would bring some of those pots into the, in those days, there was the cellars. And that's where my dad would keep the tomatoes and all these other things still growing, even in the depth of winter. So what I want to do is I want to keep these green onions to the side, because it always is so nice to give that extra freshness. And then what I want to do here is I want to come over here, and I want to get some beautiful basil. Now, you can use 5 nice leaves of basil, or if you like basil like I love basil a lot. I am going to use a few little extra ones. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to be utilizing it in here in just a minute, and then I'm going to transfer them over, and then I will show you how I'm going to top all of this. So right now, we're going to just kind of roll them together. Okay, keep your fingers, be careful. Safety first. And then, move your fingers out of the way, if you're a little bit afraid of the knife. So then now this right here, I'm going to take this and I'm going to put that on top. Right on top. And now I'm going to come over here and I'm going to add my garlic. This is when I come in and add the garlic. The garlic is going to go last, because I want that garlicky, delicious garlicky flavor. Now, you can utilize 4 cloves of garlic, or you can utilize more garlic. Again, it all depends on what you feel comfortable with and what you like. So now I'm just going to stir this. This is how quickly and fast this dish comes together. As soon as, when you cover it and you already cut your wonderful broccoli in half, it cooks a lot faster. And this is looking really beautiful. Oh, it's beautiful. It's making its own juice, the tomatoes with the chicken, releasing all of its flavors. And it smells wonderful, wonderful. So what I'm doing right now is I'm kind of cooking the garlic, because pretty much everything else is pretty well cooked. This is how fast this dish comes together. It comes in a jiffy, guys. It is just marvelous, let me tell you. Marvelous, delicious. Oh yeah, here we are. Here we are. It is beautiful. I'm gonna get a spoon now because I want to taste this deliciousness. Just I want to check on salt and how things are doing. Now to this we are going to be adding a good half a cup of the Parmesan cheese. So for me, I don't want to add any salt. But if you feel that this needs more salt for you, again, depending on how much salt you like to intake, I don't like to intake a lot of salt. So then what I want to do now is I'm going to take half of that half a cup, and I'm just going to add it right in here, like so. In my hands over here. And then I want to go ahead and bring it all together. Oh, when that cheese hits the pan, it's called amore. I absolutely love food. I love food, and I love good, healthy eating, and especially when it's low carb. Now what I want to do is I want to get my green onions out of the way over here. Because, you know, more flavor, why not, right? Why not? Why not? I grow a lot of green onions. Why not utilize them? And right now my tomato plants keeps giving me tomatoes, so why not utilize those? Now I'm going to come over here with the rest of my basil, because I'm also going to top it, this beautiful dish, with more basil and the green onions. Now, if you don't like a lot of basil, and you don't like a lot of green onion, only use a few, green onions. So I'm just going to shiffalad. Shiffalad means that you roll them and you just slice them. Very super easy, very easy transaction. Very easy, easy peasy. Just the way that I like it. Nice and easy, because I'm a very busy person. I tell you what, the older I get, the busier I become. Maybe it's because time just doesn't, time just keeps going. Okay, now, just make sure you scrape nice on the bottom, because it's got some deliciousness there. And I'm going to shut this off, because this is pretty much is over. But I want to show you, I'm going to grab myself a nice plate over here, bowl. And I'm just going to, because I want to show you guys how we are going to end this dish. Oh, it smells delicious. It smells amazing. Wait till I bring it and show it to you guys. It's such a beautiful low-carb dish. It could actually be a keto dish. It cannot be vegetarian because we are using the chicken, but you could easily make this vegetarian. And you can use tofu or some other means of protein that you wish to use with this. I have not made it with tofu. I have made it with chicken. And I'm telling you, on busy nights or busy days, this really, really brings it home. Oh my gosh, it's delicious. It is so delicious. And wait till I show this to you. It is, I keep saying it's delicious. I'm sorry, I am passionate about the food. I'm a passionate Italian. What can I say? I like a food. My whole family liked food. Everybody. In the morning when we would have breakfast, we would be talking about lunch. At lunch, we would be talking about dinner. So it was always surrounded by food. I was always surrounded by family and food. And that is how I grew up. I had a wonderful grandma that every Sunday we would go to her house. And then when we moved to this country, every Sunday my mom would have it at her house. So now I'm going to take the rest of my cheese, again, depending on how much cheese you want. Then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to add some more of the green onions right on top like that to make it a little more prettier. And then I'm going to come over here and I'm just going to let it rain. Oh yeah, I am going to let it rain. This beautiful basil that I grow, this beautiful Genovese basil. So I don't know if it comes from Genoa, I don't know. But that's what it's called and that's what I grew. Let me show it to you. Let me show this beautiful garlic chicken with broccoli and spinach. for your health, guys. Thank you so much for joining me today, and God bless every single one of you. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Woo!